Hey Leo, how are you doing? How are you doing coming into this solar eclipse in Gemini? Sun's still in Taurus for at least another few days. If you get Sky Safari or Stellarium for your phone or Stellarium on your desktop, then you can see where everything is in real time. And yeah, okay. And so let's just get straight into it. I've got the Divine Doors here. Get a few of those for you, and then get into the tarot. And let's just see now specifically what's coming in. Now you might see this right at the time or slightly after solar eclipse, but it's intended for solar eclipse energy. So whenever you read it, that's when it's happening or soon after. These readings I don't always tend to be predictive. I tend to be more diagnostic, but these have been tending to be predictive. Okay, so now this came through for one of my collective readings for the solar eclipse. And what we reached was an institution being overtaken by nature, by natural goodness, and everything that was wrong with it, yes? That it had reached its sell-by date, its expiry date. And there are things about it that can be held on to. There are things about it that can be built, that can be grown on, yes? And the rest rots. So that was... Okay. Another blue door. Okay, so blue is coming through strong right now. Just came through for Aries, one of the other blue doors. But when this blue shows up, this is similar to the favorite blue of, this is a color I look for messages from somebody in your life who is on the other side. Okay, this started with my best friend's daughter. A few years ago, she was murdered. The murder has been covered up. If you can even find her in Google search results, but let me not eclipse that story with your story, or vice versa. Yes. So so somebody is, just like with Aries, somebody from your life is communicating with you in this reading. This is between you and them. Okay. And so this is extra honor for this reading. And everything is in that context. Beautiful. So let's put them at the center. And this is somebody, typically in my world, I work with people who suffered violent deaths and murders. But not necessarily. And then sudden deaths, traumatic ones. This person might not have suffered in that way, but we'll find, well, you'll know. You will know. You will know either, if you don't know now, you'll know by the nature of the message. Tremendous amount of love coming through. This is okay. So another sort of institutional vibe here. Is there anything I can pick up from it? It's religious. And European. Okay. Let's see where we're getting, Leo. Let's see where we're getting. Let's breathe into the cards a bit. Let's see what they want to say, what they'd like to say. This is a big effort because they're busy in your life anyway. But right now, it matters to identify. And maybe this will become more the norm for the readings. Maybe. Maybe. But I won't always be using the Divine Doors for an oracle, right? So So this has everything to do, but this does have everything to do with the Gemini solar eclipse. One more. So they found themselves with an opportunity, yes? For Aries, it was a matter of timing. Whoa, whoa, okay. First off, sideways energy, Four of Swords. Okay, so I have the Ace of Swords. I've got some truth pointing down. I've got possibly three truths, three messages that came and have possibly hurt you. Or there are three people against yourself. We do have this merciful, this image of mercy here. We have the institution repeated. Yes. Now, on the one hand, we have Three of Swords, heartbreak, and doing the right thing over here. And the Five of Swords, necessary change of standing up for yourself over here. To get to the Six, to get to the safe passage. Okay. For me, this is Gemini energy. Others would put it as Libra, but I put it as Gemini, and I put this Knight of Swords as Libra. Some sort of justice. Some sort of justice is stuck. This Knight, this fast-moving Knight, something has stopped. And we have, because we also have knowing your inner power. This is Pluto. So we have Scorpio energy here. And divine timing. And Pluto is, you know, your inner powers, your inner wealth. Knowing them, harnessing them, yes? And being able to take dead energy and transmute it into living energy. It can be, now we could take a moment here, the death and the resurrection of this person, yes? The separation and the reunification of the two of you. So it's possible that something needed to be said and done, and they weren't able to say it. They weren't able to do, they weren't able to do it because they died. This is a possibility. And then they needed to recover, they needed to heal. And that's why progress has been stuck. Now, in the opposite direction, let's just do this then. Okay, so that's one side. This could all be one person, but let's just get the opposing energy here. We've got Nine of Cups sideways, wish fulfillment sideways also. And we have the Empress sideways. So for me, this is, I don't take it as archetypal energy. Some would say it could be a mother. But for me, this is a God card. For me, this is Kali, grandmother spider. Able to manifest, able to help. Not, well, able might not be the right word, but certainly this for me is a prison universe. So it belongs to enemy. And we need to be rescued from it. So there can be there is such a thing as interference. And I would say it wasn't necessarily God's will that this person suffer and die. So this interruption, this communication that didn't happen, and this unhappiness, and this break in connection, shall we say that? For now, that's what I'm understanding right now. This was not necessarily anything to do with good. In fact, because if we do this, then she's literally opposed. We could say to the resurrection, but we could say to the death. We could say to birth-death cycles. Why would somebody who knows how to create ever want that creation to end? Same with consciousness, right? What's the point of being conscious? So, there's that sort of truth. Especially if it interrupts the truth. Because this knight was carrying the truth. This person had the truth. And you needed it. Do you know it now? Okay, so we have Cancer House of Roots, Ancestors, Guides, and that transformation. Okay? A transformation, there was an accident, there was something bad, something was bad, something was sudden. Sudden, you know, like it's victory upside down. So defeat. But in this psychic energy, this water energy of you've got Emperor energy on this Chariot. Balanced yin-yang energy. Absolute progress. No stopping you. Or them. There was something that you guys could possibly achieve together. And let's just say, and that was God's wish. And therefore, Aries energy, first house energy. Sorry if the camera cut off more than I think that it did. But we have 1111, double numbers. Again, not knowing, let's just read these cards on multiple levels. So not knowing inner power, instability, absolute devastation in the fourth house of basically total security. Once you've got your fourth house sorted, you have all your earthly situations solved. Even if they're not complete, they're still solved. Now we have instability in desire, leading to this Venus energy. Aries leads to Taurus. And she's stuck manifesting. She's stuck. Yes. That's just to clarify what I'm saying. It's basically, what it's describing to me is an attack. And if we're talking that institution, there's an institution represented in this Five of Pentacles when we have that Tree of Life. And there's a whole stolen history to the Tree of Life, shall we say. And I'm not, and the people don't necessarily, well, at this point in time, we certainly have had access to information long enough to research the truth of the Tree of Life and its origins. Nature of God is depicted. The aspects of God are in this, the 10 aspects, right? So to speak. But we do have this institution and being out in the cold from this institution. And she has always been excluded from these institutions. Except as Mother Mary, you know, which took on a life all its own, separate from the actual Mother Mary. Now what's interesting is Thomas, doubting Thomas, one of Jesus' guys, disciples, in his gospel, attributed to him, anyway, he makes note, he mentions that Jesus' mom kept careful note of everything Jesus did. So there's a gospel of Mother Mary. I wonder where it's locked away. Thomas also wrote he's credited with the infancy gospel, which is a fabulous story of young Jesus. So what I'm just getting at is what they're getting at. What are they getting at? We also have the issue of the black prophetesses of Africa being smeared. The Adam and Eve story is a smear campaign against them. They were the Delphi Oracle that all of the Mediterranean empires consulted. So your transformation, this is heading into Virgo energy, Hermit energy, but it's coming out of your energy. So it's leading back to your Six of Wands. Six of Wands. Huh, okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so my mind is getting ahead of me. This is leading back to the Six of Pentacles, which is Virgo for me, not Taurus. Which means it's about problem solving, it's about information, it's magician, mystic work. And the Six of Pentacles for me, what they've established with me, is the free will card. And deciding. We've got a 5 and we've got a 6. Okay? So, there's a question of, because of all this interference, there's a question of you identifying your free will. So, in order to make up your own mind, you have to have the full context understood. And you needed this truth. And this truth is specific to this person or to your family, to a situation that is pivotal for you and your power and your connection to Kali or Grandmother Spider or Oshun. Well, Oshun wouldn't necessarily be the equivalent. Oshun isn't a goddess. She works for God. There's a singular god for the Orisha. But Oshun or Yemaya, Oshun's been coming through strongly for me. I anticipate Yemaya coming through right now. But again, so Kuan Yin, whoever, or, you know, Mary, Hecate, I've experienced all, and I don't know if I can solve if they're all the same female person expressing herself in, you know, uniquely to each culture, or if they are distinct. But whoever is specific to you, that's who you need to, and whoever this person is, that's close, that's dear to you, that was not able to do this while they were here, but they want, you know, it, like I said, it's time to work together now. And so because the key is in you guys working together, then this transformation, it hasn't happened yet. Woo, yes, it hasn't happened yet. And right next to it, because we have 2 7s together, and this is you. Yes, this is Leo. maintaining your position by yourself. Okay? So there's that symmetry. So your fates are tied together. Your fates are tied together. On the one hand, the death was charted. Okay? The interference was charted. But this universe was always charted for catastrophe. That's the name of the game. That's the chessboard that we've been set up on. Right? Confirmation. Okay. Because this is a heavily... It's all Masonic, but this is heavily Masonic because we actually have the Mason. Okay? You know, proposed as an actual stonemason, but it's figurative. It's not literal. And consulting with the monk and the nun, right? For this institution. But it's a conflict of interest card. It's a, be careful who you're signing on with. But if we take it as it is, then relevant to the rest of this, then we have absolute interference. Now, it's in the upright, so there is the possibility. It's actively manifesting. It's actively manifesting. It doesn't rest. It doesn't stop. Let's go to the doors right now. Secret sketches. Wander and seek the familiar and friendly kind. Draw memories and sketches for others to find. Okay, so we're talking about your creative. You have a creative partner here. Walkabout. You discover your path in sacred walkabout. The trees are your people, the earth is your tribe. In indigenous lessons, you find the will to survive. Well, it's been a heavy time for indigenous lessons, but it's always a heavy time. Especially lately with the 215 children in Canada. Well, I won't say Canada. Let's say a certain part of Turtle Island in respect to terminology. 215 in Hebrew gematria equals blood moon and Gog Magog. So it has to do with, and I'm not saying that in reverence to gematria, just observation. Walkabout. So nature. I would say you want that, you need that wildness, but you already know what nature does for you because you're fire. So the magic of it though, yes. You're elemental, aren't you? Anthony's call. In thanks of my spirit, safe and sound, all things that are lost, so can be found. All things that are lost, so can be found. So the time has come. There is this opportunity, like I was saying at the beginning, there's this opportunity that this person has right now to communicate this to you. And to let you know that yes. So if we look at the multiple layers of this card, okay, the conflicts of interest, the interference from institution, the interference of other dogma, of faith, but also the devil, then the opponent, the structure of the matrix that is working against your God, okay, that interfered, that took you apart. There's separation here, okay, but many people involved. You know, minions, and this is the communion that's necessary to deep creative work. And I say this as a psychic co-writer. I'm writing over 36 books with as many authors who have passed on. I have a catalog, it's all documented. been doing that for over 20 years. I also illustrate, and that is with that's with people on the other side. I own what I do in it. They don't take over my body and control me. But in terms of, I actually do get into a different dimensional existence in my mind when I'm working. It's not just being inspired by them. We're actually mind melding. And why? I'm not entirely sure. Magic to make sure that the work actually carries. It could have, well, it would have everything to do with battling. It has everything to do with the war against evil. It's magic. It's creativity plus magic. And you're forging weapons. If we look at this Ace of Swords as weaponry. Yes, all these weapons. So here we have, if we look at this as armory then, okay, an armory. Exciting. Exciting. Difficult. Tremendous amount of your own strength. Their strength. But amazing. Okay, so that's what's happening. What's happening? What is specifically happening during the solar eclipse? What is specifically happening during the solar? This is the information, but what is the event? Is it just... Okay, so obviously interference. There's going to be tremendous, there could be something of a tower moment with your free will to sharpen your wits to what your free will is about. Okay, what have we been talking about the whole time? So yes, and what comes ahead of a huge delivery from the good side is, and with it are attacks, huge attacks. So you might be inclined to feel that you have no free will. Back to that 5, right? So you might be very isolated. You might be very isolated, but it is an attack. It's an open attack on this relationship, okay? So they want you to know the context. They want you to know they're here. They want you to know that creatively it's go time and to work with them. Basically for, total transformation and success, okay? And then this is one, there will always be attacks, but this is a big one because it's so pivotal. And it's the start. This is the start of the two of you working together. Wow. Well, if anybody's up for that, it's Leo. Well done, Leo. And thank you, whoever this is. Thank you so much. And I will be keeping them in my prayers and you. All right, and I'll be back in 2 weeks. Much love, Leo.